You raise your right hand and promise to uphold the law. You say the words clearly, confidently, impartial, fair, without prejudice. Your family is in the gallery. Your law school professor nods proudly. A photographer captures the moment your career becomes permanent. You believe what you're saying. That's important, because corruption doesn't start with bad people. It starts with good people who believe they're immune. Your first day on the bench, you notice something strange. Everyone stands when you enter, not because you earned it, because of the robe. Authority isn't built here, it's assigned. Your docket has 52 cases before lunch. You thought judging would be thoughtful, deliberate, slow. It's not. It's a conveyor belt. Defendants shuffle in. Charges are read. Bail is set. Plea offers are discussed in whispers. You have about 90 seconds per life. You tell yourself that's enough. It has to be. Level 2, the adjustment. 3 months in, you've learned the rhythm. Prosecutor speaks, defense responds. You decide. Fast.
If you question everything, the day collapses. So you stop questioning everything. A public defender argues that a traffic stop was illegal. The officer claims he smelled marijuana through a closed window in heavy rain. You hesitate. You could suppress the evidence. You don't. You say the officer appeared credible. The words feel routine. After court, the prosecutor thanks you for keeping things practical. Practical. That word will follow you for years. You start thinking less about right and wrong, more about smooth and disruptive. You choose smooth. Every time. Level 3, the campaign. Judges aren't politicians, except you are. Your re-election campaign begins quietly. Fundraisers, private dinners, handshakes that last half a second too long. Police unions donate. Business associations donate. A few criminal defense attorneys donate too, but they don't have the same weight. Nobody asks you for a favor directly. They don't need to. 6 months later, a case lands in your courtroom involving a major employer in the county. Labor violations, wage disputes, ugly internal emails. The company's attorney hosted a fundraiser at his house. You remember the wine, the view, the check. You read the motion to dismiss. You could deny it. Instead, you narrow the case. Technically defensible. Strategically decisive. The workers can't afford the prolonged fight. The case fades. At your next campaign event, someone says, "We appreciate your balanced approach." Balanced. It sounds better than bought. Level 4, the pattern. You no longer need reminders. You know which arguments to accept, which ones to shut down. Young defense attorneys still try. They file bold motions. They argue constitutional violations. They quote Supreme Court cases passionately. You admire their energy. Then you deny their motions in under 2 minutes. You tell yourself you're preventing chaos. Your conviction rates climb slightly above average, your sentencing trends slightly higher. Nothing dramatic, just consistent. You develop a reputation. Firm, efficient, reliable. Reliable is the most important word in the courthouse. Reliable judges get promoted. Unpredictable ones don't. You stop seeing defendants as individuals. You see risk. You see statistics, you see potential headlines, and you rule accordingly. Level 5, the quiet favor. A high-profile defendant appears in your courtroom. Wealthy, connected, dangerous to the wrong people. The trial is explosive. Media outside, protesters across the street. Before jury selection, there are motions, key evidence, procedural challenges. You review the file late at night. You know which ruling would strengthen the prosecution. You also know which ruling would make powerful people uncomfortable. You exclude a piece of evidence on a technical interpretation, then another. Each ruling is defensible alone. Together, they reshape the case. The verdict surprises the public. It doesn't surprise you. Your phone lights up that evening. Excellent judicial restraint. You handled that beautifully. A month later, you're encouraged to apply for a higher court. No one mentions the case directly. They don't need to. Level 6, the insulation. By now, you are protected. Complaints about bias go nowhere. Appeals rarely succeed. Ethics inquiries stall quietly. You've ruled in favor of enough influential interests that your position is stable. Stability feels good. A public defender stands in front of you with data, charts, sentencing disparities tied to your courtroom. She argues that your rulings show a pattern. You listen. You nod. Then you deny her motion in less than 90 seconds. After she leaves, you feel something unexpected. Not guilt, annoyance. How dare she question your integrity? You've convinced yourself that integrity means maintaining order, not challenging it. Level 7, the exposure. It starts with an article. Data journalists publish a long report comparing sentencing outcomes across counties. Your name appears more than once. Campaign contributions mapped against favorable rulings. Defense win rates compared side by side. The patterns are subtle, but visible. An ethics committee announces a review. You hire counsel immediately. Not because you think you're corrupt, because you think you're misunderstood. You reread your past rulings for the first time in years. You see the drift. Not bribes, not envelopes, just alignment, over and over again, always leaning in one direction. You remember telling yourself each decision was practical, balanced, efficient. You realize something uncomfortable. Corruption doesn't feel like corruption when you're the one doing it. It feels like professionalism. Final level, the realization. Whether you resign or finish your term doesn't matter. Your reputation shifts quietly. Not disgraced, just questioned. You sit at home months later, watching footage of a new judge taking the oath. They look confident, earnest, certain they won't compromise. You recognize that certainty. You had it too. You didn't wake up and decide to sell justice. You discounted it gradually. You traded scrutiny for convenience, independence for advancement, courage for comfort. You never took cash in a briefcase. You never needed to. The system doesn't require dramatic villains. It requires small, repeated compromises made by people who believe they're still good. Justice wasn't loudly auctioned in your courtroom. It was adjusted, smoothed, streamlined, until it fit perfectly within the interests of those who could protect you. And the people who couldn't, they were processed efficiently, just like the docket demanded.